Okay guys, in this video I'm going to talk about a few topics we for sure need to make sure that we can fully explain to someone else. We need to have a very solid understanding of these topics. Anyways, let's get into it. So the first thing you got to realize are the different types of opinions that we can give as auditors, okay? So the first one you could give is either called unmodified or unqualified, okay? And the difference between these two is the modified is for a non-issuer, okay? Non-issuer, and the unqualified is for an issuer, and this is extremely important, okay? This is extremely important. This specific video that I'm making right now will for sure appear on your exam, okay? For sure, okay? And then you could give what is called a qualified opinion. Qualified over here, okay, qualified, okay, or you could give what is called a disclaimer of opinion, okay, you can have a disclaimer, right, or you can give an adverse opinion, and let's talk about when you would give each of these, okay, so, so these are the only two that are different based on if they're an issuer or a non-issuer. If they're a non-issuer, it's going to be unmodified. If they're an issuer, it's going to be unqualified. And an issuer means a public company, okay, like Tesla, Apple, Amazon, Google, you know, those kind of things. And then this side is for if there are audit issues, okay. If there are audit issues, okay. And this side is if there are gap issues. Oh, you know what? Yeah, right. Okay. I was thinking I said something wrong, but I actually didn't. Okay. So, when you give a qualified opinion on an audit issue, then an audit issue is usually a scope limitation where management won't let you talk to the attorney, or management won't let you look at the inventory, or there's some kind of scope limitation, okay? That's kind of what the audit issue is referring to, and the way you decide if it's a qualified or if it's a disclaimer is how material is it. Okay, if it's so if the scope limitation is a potentially material but not pervasive, okay, so basically it matters but it's not that serious, then you give a qualified opinion based on the scope limitation of the gap issue, okay? Or no, scope limitation, which is an audit issue, excuse me. Scope limitation is an audit issue, okay? Scope limitation is an audit issue, okay? And audit issues are qualified or a disclaimer. Okay, a disclaimer means no opinion. It means you're not giving an opinion, and it's because you were not able to gather enough audit evidence, so you can't give an opinion, okay? So, so that's for this side, and now let's look at this side here. So we have qualified or adverse, and that's for a gap issue, okay? Now what is a gap issue? That means the financial statements are misstated due to fraud or error, and again, if it's qualified, it's going to be material but not pervasive, okay? And if it's adverse, it's going to be material and pervasive, okay? So adverse means it matters, and it matters a lot, okay? And a gap issue is like, so if a company is really struggling and they are disclosing it on their financial statements, then you're giving them an unmodified opinion with either an emphasis of matter or an other matter, a paragraph, okay? And we'll probably talk about that later, or you definitely will hear about it when you do Becker. Depending on if you're watching this video before or after you did Becker, you should have heard about what all that means, okay? And then, let's see, I think that's everything for this. So just remember unmodified, non, right? Like you see the unmod, non-issuer, right? So that should be pretty easy to remember. Qualified issuer, or unqualified issuer, right? And then remember, for audit issues, it's qualified or a disclaimer, and for gap issues, it's qualified or adverse. Okay, and the way you decide is if the financials are okay. So you'll get a question that says like, so the financials are misstated, but it's not for a material amount. That's unmodified or unqualified. Okay. Okay. If the amount is not material, then there's no modified opinion. Okay. Right. So it's going to be unmod or unqual. Okay. Okay. But if it does matter, but it's not pervasive, right, and then it's qualified, and if it is material and pervasive, then it's going to be adverse. Okay. So that's how you think about which opinions you can give based on the facts that you have. Okay. And then that's everything for this section, I guess. So we'll stop here.